Your latest Manchester United news, lots to talk about tonight, including Paul Pogba's uncertain future at Manchester United. Will he now sign that contract, or is he looking to move away from Manchester, which is what he was looking to do before lockdown and COVID? Romano has spoken about that as well. We talk about that. Who should be Manchester United's captain? I think this is very interesting as well. Who should be Manchester United's captain? Lots of issues around Harry Maguire at the moment as well. And also, we will be talking about Ollie's targets, who they really were, who we might have ended up with. Really interesting points from Fabrizio Romano's podcast this afternoon. So we're going to get all into that. But first of all, I just want to say a big thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring the show tonight. Surfshark is a VPN, a virtual private network. One of the things best about Surfshark is their data protection services, making sure your private messages, photos, videos and other sensitive material is protected. My personal favourite feature of Surfshark, and the thing I think you will find most interesting as well, is that you can change your location on Netflix or other location-based, specific-based streaming services, so you can watch them from anywhere in the world. So if you're in the UK, you can watch American Netflix and things like that, which has different things on it. You can use Surfshark across as many devices as you like, even if they are used at the same time, and it's available on every device you can think of: Android, iOS, Linux, Amazon, Fire TV. I could go on, but I think you get the picture. And because Surfshark are super nice, they're giving you, United Stand viewers, 83% off and 3 months free when you use the code UnitedStand, and the link is as always is in the video description. So Surfshark, link in the video description, 83% off and 3 months free for the virtual private network, link in the video description. Thanks again to Surfshark, and now we get on with the video. So how are we all feeling tonight? Just give me any other captain. Love the player, but not a captain, says Gear Holty. Thank you very much for that. Also, we are only 100 subscribers away from 870,000. So if you haven't subscribed, get subscribing, bottom right hand corner. 870,000. We can do it whilst we're live, which is always nice. So we're going to start off talking about Paul Pogba. So Paul Pogba, Fabrizio Romano. It's interesting because I was going to talk about Pogba anyway. I've been wanting to talk about Pogba for a couple of weeks, but I just felt that with the transfer show going on and all the transfer window on, it just never felt the right time. So it was always a show I was going to talk about once the transfer window was closed. But interestingly, Fabrizio Romano's come out with some comments today now that the transfer window's closed. I mean, interesting comments. He said that, he always said that we had a backup left back if we couldn't get Telles. Well, we wanted Reguilon, we didn't get him. Telles was the second option. There was another option if we didn't get him. Now, a lot of people were talking about Tagliafico. There was a lad from, I think, Ukraine. It was Emerson from Chelsea. Oh my God! 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 I mean, God, we've seen Manchester United mess up some transfer windows, haven't we? But if we'd not got Telles, we would have been going after Emerson at Chelsea, according to Fabrizio Romano. Bloody hell. I mean, look, I like Luke Shaw. But if we'd bought Emerson and somebody said he's better than Luke Shaw, come on, So thank God we got Telles. But Evening Mark became a member of the United Stand last night, but Flex missed my shout out. Care to do the honours? Absolutely love you guys. Keep up the good work. That's from Dan Brown. Thank you very much. I like your books. And also, I don't want to annoy you, Mark, but I'm also looking forward to making that collab with you. Should I email you again now that the window's closed, says Matt Hayes, Tottenham blog. We've just played bloody Tottenham. I'm not doing a collab with you now. You can wait till when we play you again, and I'll be more upbeat then. I will do it though. It's just very busy with the transfer window. I think that the board falling backwards after the Brighton game was foreshadowing the United board failing to back Ollie in the transfer window, says Joshua Bowwater. Well, I want to talk about Pogba first, but we've also heard today something that I've been telling you for a while, who Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets were in the summer. He didn't get any of them, but we'll come back to that. So let's talk about Paul Pogba. Now, it's interesting. Fabrizio Romano spoke about Pogba, and he came out with a really truthful line. And I think this was going to happen. So what he said is, if we hadn't had COVID-19, he'd be wearing a Juventus shirt now. And look, I know we don't like that. And those people who don't like Pogba go, well, bloody sell him. Get him out of my bloody club. Listen up, Fleck. Get him out. We don't want him. We don't want people who don't want to play at Man United. No, we don't want him. We want Mayo. We want McMayo. Screw Pogba. There's no difference. Well, the reality is, I understand that because it's pride in a Manchester shirt. It's pride in the shirt. You don't want a player who doesn't want to be here. But football did change. We did have lockdown. COVID did happen. And I think if Pogba had gone, we'd have Grealish and not Van der Beek. So there's lots of ifs, buts and maybes. But Pogba was going to go in the summer. It was well known. We probably, if you remember when Romano was on the show back in March, he said, if we hadn't, this was before the summer, he said, Manchester United is in love with Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho wants to come to Manchester United. And, you can go back and watch that video. Now, if we'd not had COVID, we would have signed Jadon Sancho. I don't think we'd have had any problem paying 100 million quid without COVID, because fans, revenue pours in. On the other hand, Juventus would have had the money to buy Pogba, and Pogba would have forced the move. So it would have happened. I mean, Pogba's only got 2 years left on his contract. Next year, he's got 1 year left in his contract. And this now becomes the issue for United, because I think if Man United could have got Paul Pogba in the summer, in about June, July time, he would have put pen to paper and signed a contract. Now there is an issue. Now, I've been told all along, I've had really good info on Pogba all along. Last year, not going to sell him. This summer, not going to sell him. January, not going to sell him. And got told that quite early. The situation with United now is that they knew in the summer that he would sign a contract, and he was very positive about doing that. But now he's not. And this is the thing. Football moves so quick. So in the summer, Europa League semi-finalist, third into the Champions League. Looked like we was going to do really good business in the transfer window. Looks like United could challenge for a title in the next 2 years. Maybe go deep into the Champions League. After that transfer window, after the bad start to the season, Pogba's seen it all before. I've seen it all before. I've seen it all before. And he has seen it all before. And again, he's seen Mourinho come in and promise and it's not worked. He's seen Oli come in and promised and it's not worked. And Pogba can see where United are heading. You've got Berbatov talking about Pochettino. You've got United fans saying Oli out. You've had a bad start to the season. We've not bought the players in the centre-back or the right wing. Pogba ain't stupid. He isn't stupid. He doesn't drink. He's not stupid. He's not going to get fooled by what we can all see. Manchester United is in a mess again. And why would you commit your long-term future to Manchester United? Because it's not all about the money for Paul Pogba. Our first few games, we've really needed someone to stand up and take charge of the game, pull us through. Pogba meant to be that player, ain't got it in him, says Sean Negative Turner. And wondering if you think first-team players should be moved on. Those who are inconsistent or don't have the fight needs some players are only consistent thing over the years, says Gordon Murray. And Bruno Fernandes should be the new captain. And can you give a shout-out to my bro Tony Half, please, buddy? Tony Hall, says Gareth Hall. Big shout-out to Tony. So, I don't blame Pogba, says Max C. And I think this is the thing. And Fabrizio said that next week he's going to reveal what's going on with Paul Pogba's contract. But I don't think we need to wait a week, because it's quite easy to get a little bit of information on Paul Pogba anyway. But it's also very much common sense. Pogba signing a new contract is basically this scenario. He would have signed it in the summer when United were doing well. But now, as a footballer who wants to do well, he knows Manchester United are not going to win the title anytime soon. I think he's 28 now, is he? Or he's just about to be 28 next. So United aren't going to win the title in the next 2 years. And they're not going to win the championship in the Champions League in the next 2 years. They might win the championship. So Paul Pogba's going to not going to win anything in his prime years. Real Madrid, Juventus will want him next summer. And he'll have 1 year left on his contract. I don't think Paul Pogba's going to sign a new contract. That's what basically I think Fabrizio's going to say next week, and he will know. But I don't think he's going to sign a new contract. I think he's going to hold off until next summer. And he might sign one in the summer, but if he doesn't, he's got 1 year left on his contract, and then he's going to go for about 60 million because United are going to have to sell him. So basically, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I didn't want to mention it when the transfer window's open because people would just go, we're not bothered, we just want Sancho. But the reality is, there's a very realistic chance that we're going to see an inconsistent Paul Pogba this season because he knows he's going next summer. And when he goes next summer, he's going to go for about 50, 60 million pounds. And remember, COVID will knock that down. And United are going to be in a bloody nightmare situation next season. There's a positive spin to this, but there's a real negative. If Pogba gets to next season without signing a new contract, we've got 1 year left on his contract. We can't let that run down and let him go for nothing. So we're going to have to sell him. And for all the stupidity of the Jadon Sancho deal, where we thought Dortmund would sell him on the cheap when he's got 3 years left on his contract, and we waited till the last day of the window, this will happen to us, but we will have to take what Juventus and Real Madrid offer up. So Paul Pogba next season will have 1 year left on his contract in the summer. We will have had a whole year with no money coming in to the club because there's no fans in the club. 2080 is in March. He will want to move right in his prime at 28, and Manchester United will be forced to sell. And what you'll probably see is Real Madrid offering 50 million, Juventus offering 50 million, and United saying we're not taking that, and then we're going to have to hope for a bidding war, or we will be forced to take something from somebody right at the back end of the transfer window. So it's not looking good on the Paul Pogba situation because he holds all the cards now. The way we needed to hold the cards was to have a really impactful transfer window, to bring in Jadon Sancho, to bring in Upamecano with Van der Beek, and to show to Pogba that this is a side that's going to win the Premier League. This is a side that's going to win the Champions League. And then he would have penned to paper, and we would have paid him about 350, 400 grand a week, whatever. Now, United are going to still offer him that, we think, because the update on United is the one that was in June and July and August. United wanted to get him to sign a new contract. Now, you would expect that money is still there. We've just given Dean Henderson 140 grand a week, so we can't really say we're not going to give Pogba 350 grand a week or 400 grand a week. But the thing is, if Paul Pogba signs that contract before next summer, he's basically being a mercenary, which he might want to be, but if he signs a lucrative new deal for United, he's either got to be, one, very naive and think we're going to win a title, or two, he's just taking the money. But he will get that money at other clubs, and he'll go to a club that's probably going to win the league, like Juventus in Italy are probably going to win the league. Real Madrid in Spain are probably going to win the league. And this is the problem, this is the fallout from the transfer window, is that Manchester United have not only destroyed their fans' ambitions, they've also made it very clear to the players that their ambitions are not matched by those of Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, even Everton. So we may well have blown the chance of getting Pogba to sign a new contract. Now, some of you might be quite happy with that, but the reality is, whether you like Pogba or not, the fact is, if he doesn't sign a new contract, he's not signing it because he doesn't believe in the vision of this football club and believes what we believe, that there is no ambition. It's not good news, is it? So, 2 years left on his contract. There was an expectation that they would sit down and sign a new contract in the next few weeks. I don't think he will. I think he'll wait till next summer. And if United are back in the Europa League, he is not going to sign a new contract, and he is going to force a move, and he will get to go for a very cheap price. So look, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that basically is the news. Unless he's going to sign a contract, which I don't, maybe he will. Maybe he will just think, you know what, maybe Raiola, maybe United will just chuck money at that problem and say, look, Mino Raiola, there's 30 million for you. There's a few million for you, Pogba. And maybe they'll just go, it's too good to turn down. Maybe they will win the league. Maybe I can be a player here. But I don't think Pogba will. I think Pogba is, I know he's inconsistent, and I know some people, have an issue with him. But I think he wants to win things, and I think that will be the driver for him. So we'll see what happens. We need to play 5 at the back to stop the bleeding. Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Shaw as centre-back, and Telles and Shaw as wing-back, says Emrah. I don't want to be honest, mate, I don't want to see us playing back 5. I think it's absolutely shit. I hate the back 5. It's boring football. I said it yesterday. We will spend 70% of the time without the ball. We will hit teams on the break. It's boring crap, not Man United. I don't want to see us playing 5 at the back because we didn't buy a centre-back. I mean, Ollie probably will do that, but I don't want to see it. Pogba keeps on being placed at CDM, which is obvious as to why he will not perform well. Imagine putting a cam at CDM just doesn't work. Let him go, says Youngs. He's not a cam. I mean, I don't want to be obstructive tonight, but this is bullshit. Like, I listen to people who supposedly know, they're Pogba fans. They don't even know what his best position is. He's not a cam. He's not a centre attacking midfielder. He's played CDM next to Kante for France for years. He's not a cam. He's a box-to-box, basically. But Pogba does some of his best work from the halfway line. He's got one of the best long-range passing games in world football. He's brilliant at driving with the ball at his feet. How are those? And he's very tall, so he's good under the high ball to protect the defence. His perfect position is in the centre circle. His best attributes are in the centre circle. And even shooting, he's good from 30, 40 yards out. So, I mean, look, Pogba's got very good close ball control. Of course, he can do things in and around the box, and he can play a little pass, and he can play a little flick. But Pogba's best attributes are in the middle of the pitch. So I don't feel that there's an excuse for Pogba. I mean, Matic does more of the defensive work. I think Pogba at the moment has just not been fit this season. But the sad thing for me is that Paul Pogba's a really important player for United, and we're going to go through another season. It's going to start very soon. speculation of Pogba leaving Manchester United. And this, to me, as I said, is the fallout of a really bad transfer window, that not only haven't we got the players we wanted, we're now going to have this really lethargic, tiring Pogba's off to Juventus, Pogba's off to Real Madrid. And that's going to happen for all of this season. So, and look, COVID won't impact on this. Not like, United are going to say, we've got a chance with Sancho next summer, when he's still got 2 years on his contract. A few other clubs will want him, and Dortmund will still want 100 million. So that deal is next to no chance. Pogba, the rumours about Real Madrid and Juventus are going to be totally valid, because next summer he's got 1 year left in his contract and he can go for very little money. So that's going to be the story of the season, unfortunately. And I did want to keep it back till the international break because, I wanted to be trying positive amongst the transfer window, but it's not looking good on Pogba. Please smash a like on the video if you're watching live. And with Pogba potentially gone and no marketable player, Glazers may be forced to sack Woodward. Glazers and Woodward focus on marketable players, says Shirin Fajin. Welcome to the members club, KXNE. And also, Zane says, Mark, sell Pogba and De Gea, buy Kane, win-win for me as Spurs become rubbish, and it means you can have the rivalry with Arsenal. And I hope he goes, says Surinder Singh. So, yeah, I mean, just very quickly, what do people think about this Pogba situation then? So, there's two scenarios for United, really. One, we're going to lose him next summer. Two, we just chuck a load of money at him and hope he signs a contract. What would you like to see happen? Because I think we're going to lose him for about 50 million next summer. Or we get him to stay and we chuck big money at him. What would you rather do out of those two? Poundland version of Zlatan got number 7 shirt. Still can't believe it. Mark, your thoughts on playing Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Baye, Shaw, Lindelof and Alex as a back four? I would like to do that, Ronitz, but I don't think he will play Luke Shaw as a left-sided centre-back. I would like to see it. Cavani's agent's fee is almost like a sign-on fee because his agent is also his brother. It makes a little bit better, says Fred the Red. Do you think Donny should start versus Newcastle? I really want him to see him play more, but what formation can we fit him into? Diamond only, says Dan Brown. Or drop Pogba. Sick of watching our supporters throw a 30-year-old club servant under the bus because they want a Spurs manager. This board is ringing all the good Ollie he did. Ruining, says Robert Anderson. And still disgusted with the transfer window and the board, but we should not forget that this team easily should finish in the top 4. Love the show from Italy, Mark, says Philip Obertaro. Oh, well, I hope you're having a nice time in Italy. We'll talk about Ollie a little bit later. Sell him for sure, says SB. Arjun says Pogba stay. Steve says sell him. Kick him out, says Iman. Pogba out, Grealish in, says Nathan Coe. I would have sold Pogba last year, to be honest, says Dino. Just let him go. He is too inconsistent to pay him 350k a week, says Carol. Sell. Mark, stop your Pogba once Juventus nonsense, says Trend. And Pogba is not suitable for modern football, says Amir. The great thing about this is I actually can fight back at this and say that if you actually do listen to Fabrizio Romano's podcast, which I'm going to go through some points in a minute, he actually said if COVID hadn't happened, Pogba would be wearing the Juventus shirt, in his opinion. So he's an Italian journalist, so he knows what's going on. Pogba would have gone to Juventus this summer, so it's not nonsense. It would have happened. It would, and that was pretty well known that Pogba was going anyway. But COVID stopped that happening, and it also stopped Sancho coming in. To be honest with you, I hate 5 in the back as well, but we might have to do it with the goals we've been leaking and not have a proper centre back, says Amrith. Yeah, but would you go to Newcastle and play 5 at the back, mate? Come on. Who are we? We're not bloody Lincoln City in the FA Cup going to St James's Park on a day out. We're Manchester United. You can't go and play 5 at the back against Newcastle. Hi, Mark. Is it completely Woodward's fault for the poor transfer window? Why isn't Ollie protesting and leaving? Maybe Ollie is at some fault too, says James Burns. No. How is it? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is to manage Manchester United. It's not to negotiate transfers. So, no, it isn't his fault. So, most people are saying sell Paul Pogba. Where do I stand on this? It's multi-layered, really. If Manchester United had bought Sancho and Upamecano and started the season well, not even that. If Pogba had wanted to sign a contract in July, I would have given him the contract and let him sign. Because everything was going well. He was playing well. We got 3rd. So I would have given him that contract then. But now after a bad transfer window, and now after an inconsistent start from him, I think Man United will just chuck money at him because they think we need Pogba. I personally hope he doesn't sign the contract. I think more of Paul Pogba than that for him to just sign a contract for money. I think surely he's got ambitions. And if he's got ambitions, he shouldn't sign the new contract, because you're just a mercenary. You're just staying at United for money, not for success. We're not set up for success anytime in the next couple of years. So I hope he doesn't sign the contract. But if United had taken that momentum from June and July into this new season, I would have wanted him to sign the contract, because I think he only wanted to sign the contract because he saw a vision like we did in the summer. He saw Champions League football, a good transfer window, momentum into the new season. Obviously, none of that's happened. So I think he'd only sign a contract now for money, whereas I think before he wanted to sign it because he could see where we were going to go. So I hope he doesn't sign the contract, because I don't want him to just sign the contract for money, especially when he's been inconsistent. So, but I don't think he will. I think he is ambitious. You know, ultimately, I suppose the easiest way for me is I like Pogba. And when Pogba's engaged and playing well, I want Pogba to stay. When we're not playing well and we're just wanting him to stay because we want to chuck money at him, I would hope that he's ambitious enough to say, no, I think I'll go to Real Madrid and Juventus. I mean, that's bad for us because you're losing a big player, but you know, I don't want people to stay here for the money. I want people to stay here because they believe in the project. Do you think, and there is no project at the moment, so how can he believe in it? Do you think Cavani will get inspiration from the number 7 shirts in the background, says Ian Hibbert? Mate, I think Cavani getting the number 7 shirt is a joke. I'm not even going to talk about it because I know a lot of people don't really, think it's a good thing. I think it's a joke. I think if you'd said to me 2 weeks ago that our number 7 status signing would be Cavani, I would have burnt all my underwear and, smashed up my plates just to start off with. I mean, I'm just keeping it down on the lowdown. I'm just staying calm. That transfer window has battered and bruised me, and I don't really want to get angry again. But nothing against Cavani. I mean, he scored a banger on my FIFA career mode on Mark Goldbridge That's Football. It's well worth a watch, and I hope he does really, really well. And it's not even to do with Cavani, really, but we've given Cavani, a player that was thinking of retirement that nobody else wanted, our number 7 shirt. It's a joke. I can't even get mad about it because it's just a joke. It's bloody ridiculous. It really is. I would try and get Pogba to sign a new contract with a realistic release clause to allow him to leave where both parties win, says Craig. That's not a bad idea. Drop Pogba, start Donny van der Beek and see what mentality Pogba takes. I'd love to see that, Ryan Cave. I totally would love to see that. I think Pogba should be dropped. I thought he was shit against Spurs, especially in the second half. Like some others, I think Van der Beek needs to start, and I think Ollie needs to, to be quite honest, grow a pair, because he's going to lose his job. He is going to lose his job. I still stand by that. This is the beginning of the end of Ollie. He's not been backed. He's going to lose his job, and his only chance of keeping the job is to get rid of the status quo and go with the players who deserve a chance. I mean, realistically, against Newcastle, Maguire should be dropped, Pogba should be dropped, Shaw should be dropped, Wan-Bissaka should be dropped. He won't drop. The only player who'll get dropped is Shaw for Tellez. He won't drop Pogba and play Van der Beek, but he should do. Nice evening show, says Gabriel. Thank you very much. Mark, sorry not related to the video, but why has the Flex and KG show been put on private? Can no longer access the video, says Andrew Mac 96. Yeah, they're going to do it again tomorrow night. It had to get taken down, that's all I can say. Woodward's lies about, and it wasn't my decision, Woodward's lies about the Sancho deal has been burned our bridges with Jadon. If we were honest about not affording him, we probably had a chance next year, says Gustav. And since United started buying European talents, when Pogba leaves, we need a replacement. Camavinga, perfect replacement. Your thoughts, says Ron. I'd love to get Camavinga. That's the exciting thing about what we've done with Ahmed Traore and the Pelestri, the Uruguayan. I would love to see us doing more of that. But we'll see. If Pogba holds out, would that force the board to sign some ballers in January? Real recognise Real, and once our best players leave, then we're effed, to Santiago. And I don't think Pogba is good enough in defence to be playing box-to-box, particularly with Matic as CDM, says Per Eric Klassen. I certainly think Pogba would be better with a more mobile CDM, which is why it works well for France. So, yeah, I would agree with you on that one. I do want to come back to the comment about transfers and Jadon Sancho in a moment, but I want to talk about the captaincy as well. Right, let me just go through. Right, we're going to talk about the captaincy, but let me just talk about. So Fabrizio Romano did his podcast today, and he went through some things about now the transfer window's closed. He basically revealed some of the things that he knew from the transfer window that he couldn't mention when it was open. Mike Burns says, I'm in two minds with Pogba. When we are winning and playing well, then so does Pogba. When we're poor, he doesn't drag us out and get us going. He just goes missing, which I think is a fair point. We can talk about that in relation to the captaincy. So He said that the backup, if we didn't get Telles, was Emerson at left back from Chelsea. I mean, you know, we had a bad transfer window, let's be honest. We had a really bad transfer window, and we know that. But look, we didn't get Sancho, and we're begging Dembele, who doesn't want to be here and has got a worse injury record than a bloody corpse, to come to our club. So why are you surprised that Emerson was the backup left back option? He did say about Pogba that if COVID hadn't happened, he would have been a Juventus player in Romano's opinion. He also said that in relation to Jadon Sancho, and I know this is going to hurt and it hurts me, but look, this is from Fabrizio Romano, the best transfer journalist in the world, I would say. This is what he's saying about Sancho. And look, Fabrizio isn't the reason I was 90%. There was other people saying this as well. But he said Sancho was one step away from signing for Manchester United in July, in late July and early August, which is when he was like, he did the tweet and everyone went mental. He said he was one step away from joining Manchester United in late July and early August. Manchester United did not expect Dortmund to adhere to the 10th of August deadline. They expected Dortmund to fold, and on deadline day they expected the price to drop for Sancho. However, what Fabrizio has said, and what is quite interesting, is there was this story that Dortmund would have said screw you to Manchester United on the final day of the season. Fabrizio said that wasn't the case. If Manchester United had offered the €120 million, Dortmund would have took it on the final day. So it wasn't that Dortmund said there was no chance of a deal on the final day. They would have took the €120 million, but United were never going to offer that, and that's why it didn't happen. So a little bit of different story there, because, I mean, look, the truth doesn't really matter on that. This deal could have happened and United messed it up. But Fabrizio is saying that if United had offered the €120 million on Monday, Dortmund would have took it. Obviously, Dortmund said he wasn't for sale, but look, they probably would have took it, wouldn't they? Cavani will fight Bruno for penalties, says Juby. Don, he better bloody not take penalties, Bruno's got to stay on penalties. He's not missed any, has he? He also said that the player, this is the more interesting thing just on this. Sell Fred, Pogba and De Gea, get Ndidi, good centre-back next summer, says Craig Gale. Mate, the trouble with saying sell this, sell this, sell this is United can't sell players because we pay stupid wages. So Fred's are probably on bloody loads of money as well. So we can't just sell players, which is why we struggle as well. But he did say that Sancho was pushing for the move and has been left very disappointed that Manchester United didn't get the deal done. And if United are thinking about going for Sancho next summer, they're going to have to really work hard to convince Sancho that it's worth him wanting to come to United again. Because Sancho really wanted to come to United. It was his dream move, and he's very disappointed that it didn't happen. Which is what we all know, and which is why I've always said it was now or never. I don't think we can do this deal again. I really don't. I don't. And it's common knowledge that Sancho's gutted that he didn't get the move. And, Dortmund will say to Sancho, look, that was the price. We'd agreed the price. They didn't pay it. We can't let you go, Jadon. So all the blame, quite rightly, will be put at Manchester United's door. And I would imagine that next summer, a Real Madrid or a Barcelona or a Liverpool or a Chelsea or a PSG will go to Sancho's agent and say, look, we ain't going to piss about. We know what we're going to pay. Dortmund know what we're going to pay. Come to our great club. Look at us. We're in the Champions League. We value our players. Come to us. And Sancho will go, yeah, thanks. And United will be there going, please come to it. Jadon, remember us from last year? And he'll go, fuck off. And I think that's what really will happen, unfortunately, for us. We all know Ollie was not backed, but Ollie has favourites, won't help him. Ollie should also get rid of support staff as they are not good enough, says Srin Vashin. And Dan Brown says, why can't Cavani play versus Newcastle? Why is he with Uruguay? Isn't he retired from the national side? Surely he should be in Manchester getting fit, says Dan Brown. And Mark, let's hope we don't get bantered by the Longstaff brothers again, says Brad Lewis. Mate, Newcastle might be a tough game for us. I don't know what's going on with Cavani. Apparently he might have to go into quarantine because he's been in Uruguay. So he might have to go into quarantine for 10, 14 days. I don't think he does play for the national side anymore. I think he's just in Uruguay. And as I said, he hasn't played any competitive football since March. So, I mean, look, people don't want to listen to the risks about Cavani. They just want to believe we're getting prime Cavani. We're not getting prime Cavani. We're getting 33-and-a-half-year-old Cavani on ridiculous wages wearing our number 7 shirt. There is a very real risk that he could flop at Manchester United. Very real. I hope it's not going to happen, but there is a very real risk about it. Now, do you want Cavani to start against Newcastle? I'm sure you all do. I personally think it's a bloody disaster to do that. He's not played since March. He's not going to be anywhere near match fit. And in the last year, he's had quite a few muscle injuries. So I don't really want to see Cavani being thrown into games in desperation when he's not played for ages and he's had quite a bit of an injury record in the last 18 months. But obviously, no, Man United, we're desperate to win, so we probably will chuck him in. But I don't know whether he's got to go into quarantine, which rules him out anyway. The interesting thing for me is, on Sunday, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't put Ighalo or Dan James on the bench. We had no attacking options. Lingard was the most attacking option we had. That says to me, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't want Dan James or Ighalo at the club. Now, Ighalo's going to have very limited game time now because we've got Cavani and we've got Martial. But Dan James, by all accounts, Leeds wanted him and United wouldn't sell him. So what's the future for Dan James? Ole didn't even want him on the bench at the weekend. Why won't United appeal the red card decision on Martial? France is winning 2-0. Martial is remarkable. 4-5-1 formation is the right formation to use. As forever, PVM. And thank you for the contribution from Cruz, 23. We're going to have to play Ighalo, says Jazz K. So I mean, just very, very quickly on Sancho, because I don't want to dwell on this. What I would say is that Dortmund's only hope of selling him next year is a bidding war, because I don't think they're going to get 100 million next year. I think, in many ways, Dortmund may have turned down the most money they're ever going to get for Sancho, because if we have another year like this with fans not in the ground, and I don't know what it's like in your country, but in Europe, Germany, Spain, England, COVID cases are on the increase. More restrictions are coming back. I don't think we'll ever go back to a full lockdown, and I think football will continue behind closed doors no matter what happens. But pubs, restaurants, I think will be shut down in the next few weeks. So fans back in the ground isn't going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen till next year. So revenues for all clubs is going to be severely hit. United will have less money to spend next summer because of that, but so will Barcelona, Real Madrid, Liverpool. So I think Dortmund think that this fans are going to go back in the ground next week. Everyone's revenues are going to go up. Even if they went up next week, clubs have still lost loads of money. So I personally think Dortmund may have missed their best opportunity to get good money this summer. I might be wrong, but I don't think next summer they're going to get 100 million for Sancho. I don't think we're going to see that sort of deal next summer, full stop. And I've spoken about the golden handshakes before, the golden cage before. Mbappe would probably like to leave PSG. Neymar would probably like to leave PSG. There was a time when Harry Kane wanted to leave Spurs. He might want to stay now because they're looking all right again. Pogba, he will only have 1 year left on his contract, which will bring his price down. I mean, Pogba could end up going for really, really low money. It could be 30 million with 1 year left on his contract and COVID. So, look, I don't know. Also, just very quickly, what difference has Pogba really made in the last 30 games? The last time he looked competitive was when Zlatan was around. And Mark, can't the club offer mutual contract termination to deadweights like Jones and Rojo? We're bleeding so much cash every week for no reason, says Sakib. And mate, the signing we need more than any other is a defensive coach that's been there and bought the t-shirt. A Stam or Tony Adams. We are terrible, says Mark War. The issue with terminating Phil Jones' contract is it's worth about 16 million quid because we pay him 4 million a year and he's got 4 years left on his contract. So United would never terminate his contract because you'd have to pay him 16 million pounds, which we will be paying him over the next 4 years, but surely we'll get rid of him before the 4 years. So that's not really likely. Remember what I said to you about Ollie's targets for the transfer window, and then we're going to move on. It's come out from Mark Ogden, ESPN, and a few other sources today that, and I've said this to you before, Ollie's top 3 targets this summer were centre-back Upamecano, obviously right-winger Sancho, midfielder Grealish, and his backup centre-back option was Nathan Ake, according to Mark Ogden. But Upamecano, Grealish and Sancho is what we've been talking about a long time. Grealish was definitely the midfielder he wanted. Van der Beek was the cheaper backup option, which I'm happy with. I'm happy with Van der Beek over Grealish. I'm more than happy with that. But Grealish was his first choice. Sancho was his first choice, obviously didn't get him. And Upamecano was his first choice centre-back, didn't get him. So, look, another manager like Mourinho, like Van Gaal, who haven't got anywhere. They've been given players. Look, Van Gaal was given a lot of players. Mourinho was given a lot of players. But none of them ever getting their first choices. Mourinho probably did, actually, when he got Pogba and Zlatan. But, look, How can any, there'll be people saying bring Pochettino in. How can Pochettino succeed when he asks for one player and gets another? I mean, how can you say, I want Jadon Sancho to wear the number 7 shirt and be delivered Cavani? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Hold on a minute. You're paying Cavani the wages you were going to pay Jadon Sancho. You're giving him the number 7 shirt as well. Fucking hell. I mean, for fucking hell. I mean, and that's what. Whatever you think about Solskjaer, whatever you thought about Mourinho, whatever you thought about Van Gaal, it's ridiculously hard to achieve something when you are not being given what you ask for. It's like having a PlayStation at Christmas and asking for FIFA 21 on the PlayStation 5 and getting it on the Xbox. It's not going to work, is it? And they go, well, it's expensive. It's a good game. Yeah, but it's not going to work in the system I've got. But it's expensive and it's good. No, it won't work. Look. Am I playing FIFA 21? No. So, and this is the problem. Because people go, wow, you know what? Mourinho's still got this player. He's still got that player. Ollie's still got this player. He's still got that player. But it's not what I asked for, is it? It's not what I asked for. It's like being in a restaurant and ordering a lasagna and they come out with bloody coq au vin. It might be very nice. It might be very nice. But I don't want coq au vin. I want lasagna. And this is where some fans don't get it because they go, well, there's nothing wrong with Cavani. There's nothing wrong with Telles. There's nothing wrong with Van der Beek. And in certain instances, they're not. There's nothing wrong with them. But they're not what he asked for. And look, you don't always get what you want. We've all been there Christmas morning. You want something, you get something else. And that's just when you wake up. But yeah, you're not always going to get what you want. But it'd be nice to get some things. And I think with Mourinho and Van Gaal, not giving them what they want, because they were such experienced top-class coaches, you would expect them still to do quite well. But when you've got an inexperienced coach and you don't give them what they want, it's a recipe for disaster, isn't it? Hi, Mark. I posted on Manchester United's Instagram page saying that Cavani is Falcao 2.0. They deleted my comment 2 times. Can't accept the truth, says Frosty Man. That is surprising to see them deleting comments. And a good manager can make any team win. Leicester, says Vihan. Oh, God. Take your time. Don't bite. Thanks for the super chat, Vihan. Claudio Ranieri was a fantastic coach. And he won the league with Leicester. Leicester were not a shit team. Leicester went on an amazing run the season before Ranieri with Nigel Pearson. Nigel Pearson is not one of the best coaches in the world, but he kept them up on an amazing run and a style of play that Ranieri adopted and brought a couple of players into, and it worked. Very good defence with a very quick counter-attacking team that nobody figured out then it was too late. I'm telling you now, a good coach would not get this United side any better than third. And Ollie just did it. Klopp, Pep, in charge of that United side last year, would not get better than third. So it doesn't matter how good your coach is, they still need backing. Ranieri didn't walk into Leicester and say, I want Kante and get bloody Phil Jones, did he? He got Kante, I think. I'm not a Leicester fan, but I think Kante came in for Ranieri. But regardless, he must have brought some players in. Why do people say Ollie is inexperienced? He's been around for almost as long as Pep. 2 ends of the spectrum, says Josiah Williams. I mean, we're getting dragged into something here. I don't want it to be a pro-Ollie show. I don't want it to be an anti-Ollie show. But Pep Guardiola started his managerial career 10 years ago with Lionel Messi at Barcelona and an open checkbook. He then went to Bayern Munich with the best players in Germany and an open checkbook. And then he came to Man City with some of the best players in England and an open checkbook. So Pep Guardiola may well have been a manager the same time as Ollie, and he's definitely a better manager than Ollie, but he's definitely had the better circumstances. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer started out in Norwegian football with Molde, went to a crap Cardiff side, got it relegated, and then went back to Molde, where he won titles, and then was an interim manager for Manchester United, and was meant to be an interim manager, and then got a full-time job. To compare Ollie and Pep is silly, because their scenarios are totally different. But that does remind me of something. Can you remember what I said to you when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got the job? And I wanted him to get the job. Name me an interim manager that's gone on to be successful long term. He's always up against that. And that's not his fault. I think Ed Woodward is a clown. I've said this before. Not just at transfers. I just think the man lies, or if he doesn't lie, he talks out his arse, because, you know, we've just sat through a transfer window that was disgraceful. I've got every right to criticise the man and his team around him. But what did Ed Woodward say when Jose Mourinho got sacked in that December? He said, we will take our time and we will make a decision on the manager in the summer. What did he do 3 months later when everyone was singing Ollie's at the wheel? He gave him the job at the end of March. We looked like we were going to get top 4 from a miraculous position. We plummeted like a stone in a swimming pool and we didn't get top 4. And if he'd waited till the summer, that momentum of Ollie might have continued and we might have got top 4, and then you give him the job. Or it might have fell like it did from April and you don't give him the job. Woodward, whatever you think about Ollie, and I'm Ollie in, Woodward has caused all this all the time with really silly. The thing is, I think he could be okay at his job. But the trouble with Woodward is when the pressure hits, whether it's good pressure or bad, he reacts. When he doesn't get Sancho, he's begging Ousmane Dembele to come on his knees. He's giving Cavani stupid wages. He gets desperate. And when things are going good, he does desperate things the other way. Oh, Phil Jones, you can have a 5-year contract. Ollie, you're at the wheel. There's a contract. He doesn't act like a businessman. He doesn't look at the football club and business. And that, to me, I wanted Ollie to get the job because I'm a fan. But the owners of the club and the CEO of the club should be able to take away emotion and look at things pragmatically. And when you say in December, when you sack Mourinho, we will wait till the summer to appoint the manager of Manchester United and take a helicopter view of it in a calm way, that was exactly the thing we should have done. We should have just waited till the summer. No United fan was demanding that Ollie got the job, that he had to have it in March. We were all saying give him the job, Ollie's done great, but we didn't have to do that. If we'd waited till the summer, we all would have said that was the right thing to do. He said in December, we're going to wait till the summer and have a look at all the options and make the right decision. Ollie goes on a good run, end of November, there you go. And then we messed the rest of the season up. And if he just waited, 2 things would have happened. 1, we would have got Champions League football, or 2, we would have plummeted like we did. And he would never have given Ollie the job then, or he would have considered people like Pochettino. And he didn't. And again, you know, we moan about transfer windows. We moan about lots of things, but we should also moan about things like that. And we should moan about things like a year ago where they say short-term deals are dangerous. You've got to trust the process. You've got to trust the vision of the long-term thing. A year later, we're buying 33-and-a-half-year-olds and chucking massive wages at them, just like we did with Falcao a few years ago, and just like we did with Schweinsteiger and Sanchez. You know, and that's what gets on my nerves about United. It's not just transfers. It's the bullshit that we get fed and they think we won't remember. And we do remember. And you just go, you know what? If we just waited till the summer to give Ollie the job, we might have realised he wasn't up to the job, or that momentum might have carried on and we would have got Champions League football. If we just did what you said we were going to do a year ago, we wouldn't have been panicking around chucking big money at 33-and-a-half-year-olds. So it's fuzzy thinking. They want you to believe in a future vision because that way you don't moan so much, you keep buying the shirts, you keep believing. But the story they tell you, you can never trust because 6 months, 12 months later, they'll contradict themselves. So you can never trust what they're talking about. Their future vision, their 3-year plan, it's a load of crap. Because your 3-year plan you had a year ago is now a different plan. Stick to the plan. Stick to the bloody plan. Do you think Sancho actually wants to come to us for club or cash? Do you think City now have a better chance of re-signing him over us next summer, says Brian? I don't think he'd want to go back to City. Lineup versus Newcastle: Dave, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Mengi, Shaw, Telles, Fred, Van der Beek, Bruno, Rashi, Greenwood, James. 4-3-3. Ollie has been let down massively. Get Poch in. He improved of average squad at Spurs. He's a coach, says Dylan Taylor. Hi Mark, I asked you this on Monday, but I think that you missed it because of the crap fest that was that day. But given current players, what does your ideal Man United squad look like? This is Marco Gianni Trump. I mean, what do you mean by ideal squad? The squad is what the squad is. I can change the squad, but we'll be here all night. My ideal lineup is Martial, Greenwood, Rashford as a front three because that's the best we've got. My ideal midfield three on form is Matic, Pogba and Bruno, but the way Pogba's playing at the moment, I'd play Van der Beek. And my ideal back four is going to be, I don't know what my ideal back four is. I think it's, I can pick most of the team, but I can't pick those centre-backs because they're all shit. I would actually probably consider Luke Shaw as a left-sided centre-back, and maybe, I don't know, I mean, who would you play with him? Bailly? I mean, he's not going to drop Maguire, is he? If Ollie is outside top 5 after 10 games, the Ollie out is a fair comment. We're not far off the top at the moment. Klopp was back for a few seasons, says Cruz. Hans Frick, Bayern coach, was an interim coach, says Ajmel. I mean in the Premier League. I'd throw Ollie under the bus because he wants him out. Ed throws Ollie under the bus because he wants him out. Jose got backed by one of the tightest owners. Don't back managers means something is wrong, says Eric Palmer. And they should have gotten Moussa Dembele better than Cavani as a long-term solution. Should also try and play him on the right wing. Duran, I don't know what... I mean, that's a great point. I don't know why we didn't go for Moussa Dembele from Lyon. Because he wanted a move. Lyon aren't very well off. They were letting Depay go for £20 million. And Moussa Dembele is 24. And, he'd be perfect for the bench and a backup option. I don't know. I mean, I think that's a great point. I don't know why we didn't look at doing that deal. It'll be down to money. It'll be down to money. But it's a good point. It is a good point. I don't want to see Dennis the Menace in the back four again, says DK. And thanks for the contribution, Jack White. Happy birthday, Mark, says Curtly. It's not that time, is it? Marco Gianni says, I meant any players, even those not playing for Man United right now. I mean, it's such a big question, Marco Gianni, but I'll go back to what I said at the start of the transfer window. I would like to have seen Delot sold, Pereira sold, Jones sold, Rojo sold, Smalling sold, and Romero sold. Those 6. Jesse, I think, should have gone for his own good, but if he wants to stay, he wants to stay. And I would have bought. I'm happy with Van der Beek. I'm happy with Tellez. I mean, it wasn't a high priority for me, but we do need 2 left backs, so I'm happy with Tellez. And then the 2 that we really needed was obviously Sancho and a centre back. So, I don't disagree with Ollie's list. Grealish or he's got Van der Beek, that's fine. Sancho, Upamecano. I would have been more than happy with those. And the sad thing is, whether you're Ollie in or you're Ollie out, the sad thing for me is, I think he may lose his job. I do think it's the beginning of the end. But if he does lose his job, the players that he wanted are exactly the right players. If you sat most United players down when we got 3rd place after Leicester, and it's a long time ago now that we felt optimistic and happy. But if we all sat down straight after that Leicester game where we got 3rd and went, what players do we need? We would have gone centre-back, right winger, centre midfielder. That we desperately need those 3 situations. If we can get any more, great, but we need those 3 players. And that's exactly what Ollie wanted, and he didn't get it. So I can't criticise him too much because he got us to 3rd place, and the 3 players he wanted, he didn't get, and they were the right players. He's been let down. He is basically walking towards the job office, isn't he? I mean, bloody hell. You look at the next few fixtures we've got. Oh my God. Oh my God. So we come back. We've got Newcastle away, which is where we lost last year. Then we've got Leipzig. Then I think we've got Chelsea. Then we've got PSG. Then we've got Arsenal. Then I think we've got Leipzig again. Then we've got Everton. It's like Newcastle, Leipzig, PSG, Leipzig, Chelsea, Arsenal, Everton. 7 games. We could drop points in all 7. And look, this is what I mean. As soon as that transfer window closed and we didn't get the big momentum signing to give the team a boost, I was like, And look, the big momentum signing could have been Upamecano at the back to give the team confidence at the back. I mean, ideally it was going to be Sancho, but even Upamecano at the back would have given the team some momentum as a big signing. I mean, Cavani, I don't care what anybody says. I'll be very surprised if he's a momentum signing because he actually doesn't start for us when everybody's fit, and he's not fit himself. So when we come back after this international break, what signing is going to give United a huge boost? I mean, Tellez to a certain extent, but so we've missed out on that. We've had a really bad start to the season. We've lost 2 games, and the 1 game we won, we should have lost. And then we're going into a really tough run of fixtures. So look, if you're Ollie out, I would say at the moment, as a percentage, is a 70% chance we're going to go through those games and have some bad results. And that's only going to increase the pressure on him. But with Ollie, I think he'll either have a load of bad results or he'll have an amazing set of results. And I really hope we have an amazing set of results. And this team, which hasn't been backed, and this manager, which hasn't been backed, somehow finds some amazing form and starts winning games again. Because it'll be a big up yours to the Glazers and Woodward, although they'll take it that they were right. I mean, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't with this board. But what I really... Look, my ideal situation, and I know people are going to say you're stupid, my ideal situation is that somehow we stop Liverpool winning the league this year. And I don't know how we do that, but I want to see Man United stopping Liverpool winning the league. Because if Liverpool win the league, they're going to win the league 20 times, and they're going to level up with us. And if we sack a manager... The new manager's not going to stop Liverpool winning the league next year. So in 18 months, Liverpool could have more titles than us. And sacking a manager resets the clock again. So I hope this manager works. I said it with Mourinho. I wanted Mourinho to work because if you sack him, you've got to go through it all again. And you waste more time. And the cycle continues. But look, I'm not going to lie. I'm excited by those fixtures when we come back. But I'm not bloody confident. I mean, Jesus. I mean, just look at the league fixtures. We've only got 3 points. Newcastle, Chelsea, Arsenal and Everton. In 4 games' time, we might only have 6 points. 6 points after 7 games. We'll be in the bottom 3. So, yeah, it is a worry. It is. Hi, Mark. Would you drop Maguire for our next few fixtures? Twansebi appears to be training as well. I would. I'm really hoping that Twansebi can stay fit because I know Ollie wanted to use him a year ago. But look, he's been out for a year. It's going to take... It's a bit like Cavani. Twansebi's not going to be ready to play against Newcastle. I don't think he'll be ready to play for a while. Why didn't we sell Romero to Everton? His wife today is going nuts. I know, Kiminish, but this is the way the club works, isn't it? It's not always about how they treat the fans. They treat players like shit as well. And Ollie has built such a good path. He has identified problems that no previous manager has done, says Jack White. I really want Ollie to succeed. I know... You know what? To me, it's not even an argument. I think the great thing about the United Stand is it's a community and everyone's got an opinion. I've got no problem at this point with people being Ollie out. If you've got your reasons for it, you've got your reasons for it. But I want him to succeed for many reasons. I'd love it to work. Because I do think he's done a lot of good things behind the scenes. And I do think he's trying to get United, inherently like it used to be. But whether he can do it or not, I don't know. Current management, manager routines and young signings. I won't be surprised if Eddie's looking at Dortmund and saying that's who we want to become. Says Niall Fernandez. And I want Ollie to succeed, but why he still choose Pogba over Van der Beek, picking Harry and not giving Bruno the armband, this kind of decision pisses me off. High five, Ronit. High five. You've owned it, Ronit. I totally agree with you. I want Ollie to succeed. Ollie in, of course, at the moment. But, I'm also critical because, I think in any area of life, you don't just like something and go and then not identify its faults. And Ollie's got a lot of faults. Maguire should not be captain. No way. Even if you thought he should be captain, he shouldn't be captain. He's a terrible captain. He's not a captain. No way. That needs to come away from him. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sat there tonight or tomorrow, realistically, these decisions should not be taken stubbornly because you're trying to save your job. You give Bruno the captaincy, there's more chance of your team winning. So do it. Van der Beek should come in for Pogba. I mean, that should have happened. I agree. So there are decisions that he's made that I don't agree with. Mark, as we needed a centre-back, why didn't we go for Koulibaly and Partey? 40 million last day of the season would have been better than Cavani. Says Robert O'Malley. Look, I think Arsenal had a very good transfer window. I think Chelsea had a good window. Spurs had a good window. Everton had a good window. Lots of teams had a good window. We had a bad window. I can't keep talking about that enough. I do want to talk about the captaincy, but we can just do it. We can just do it tomorrow. That's fine. We've overrun a little bit anyway. Robert says we all said Maguire captain when given it, but mate, there's no problem with that. There's no problem with that. What does that mean? We have to. Does that mean if you make a bad decision in life, you need to stay with that decision? The best leaders in the world make a bad decision and then change it and make it right. Like, I can't remember what I said about Harry Maguire being the captain. I think I said who else can you give it to? But I don't really agree with it because he's only been at the club for a short period of time. But, you know, if I said give it him, fine, I'll own it. But I'm not sure I did. But even if I did, he's not the captain we need. He's been proven he's not the captain. So, you know, it's a bit like everyone who wanted Ollie to get the job. Not everyone thinks he should have the job now. They're allowed to change their mind based on the evidence. And Jesus Christ, we've had enough evidence of Harry Maguire as captain to see that he's not a captain. So, look, I don't care whether we all wanted it. We've all got a right to say he shouldn't be the captain because the evidence is staring us in the face. It really is. At this stage, it isn't about manager anymore. It's about ownership in the board. Cycle would just repeat itself, says Gordon Murray. Oh, yeah, well, you know, that is the issue, isn't it? We're playing PSG on the 17th of October, which is 10 days from today. Literally play Newcastle on the weekend and play PSG midweek on a Tuesday, says Yazza. It's going to be interesting, Yazza. How can we give the armband to Bruno? He came in the team after Maguire. Our captain should be Matic or De Gea, says Ronald Jacob. Well, you know, you don't have to give the manager to. You don't have to give the captaincy to somebody who's been there for a long time, though, do you? We'll talk about this tomorrow. I think it'll be a good show. President of Pakistan and ex-cricket legend Imran Khan said, "Be thankful for some people have Harry Maguire as their leader. We're a global joke, man," says Charlie. And Mark, name your top 3 teams in terms of the transfer window that's just gone by, says Kendall. I think Chelsea had the best window, and I think it will be proven to be the best window. I think second for me was Spurs. I think, you know, I'm judging this on, you know, it's not the best. I think Liverpool had a great transfer window with Jota and Thiago added to a title-winning side. But looking, you've got to judge a transfer window on what suits that club. I think Chelsea had addressed loads of weak areas. I think Spurs have done the same. And third place for me would probably be, I think, Everton. I think Everton have had a brilliant window. Alan, what a signing he is. I mean, everyone says James Rodriguez, but Alan's a great signing. Doucouré's very good for them. They've brought that Godfrey in as well. They've had a really good transfer window. Very intelligent. Anyway, big shout out to Surfshark for sponsoring the show. Remember, you can get 83% you can get off? I've dropped it in the link. 83% off and 3 months for free with virtual private network Surfshark. Give it a click. Links in the video description. Big thanks to them for sponsoring the show. And a big thanks to you for watching the show. Really enjoyed it tonight. It's been nice to not delve into transfer news a little bit, hasn't it? Nice to start getting back into what is... I think the transfer bubble is great when it's happening. But when you pop it, it's nice to get back into talking about football because that's what it's all about. So really enjoyed the show tonight. Big up to you as well. Smash a like on the video and please subscribe to the channel if you're new because we're only 100 subscribers away from 870,000. In fact, we might have done it whilst we were on air. I should just check. But yeah, we're back again tomorrow with the 10 a.m. show and 8 o'clock tomorrow night as per usual. We're only 10 subscribers away from 870,000. Please subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. Loads of live content, interactive as ever. I'll speak to you all tomorrow. Have a great evening. And thanks for the show. Really enjoyed the show tonight. I didn't think I would enjoy a show as much as I did tonight after that shit transfer window. So I really want to say thanks to all the moderators and thanks to everyone for watching. It's been absolute. I've really enjoyed it. And I've really enjoyed it because we've really got into stuff and been, oh, no, not that. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with the back 5. He shouldn't be captain. Not moaning about bloody transfers. Great. Loved it. Well done. That's what this community is all about. You can change my mood and make me feel happy and positive. Now I'm going to go and watch the Bake Off. Speak to you in a bit. Oh, Kean Walsh, the winner for Boohoo Man will be announced tomorrow on tomorrow morning's show.